Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third edition of Apex Solutions Limited's webinar, How to Promote Your Book with the Help of Social Media. We are very glad that you all are here. Having said, I'll give you a small brief about what Apex Solutions Limited is. We are a comprehensive e-publishing and digitization company. We have started their operations in 1998. With more than 500 plus employees currently, we have worked with all big names across the globe. I'm happy to say that. Our core business is publishing services. Apart from that, we are also proficient in data conversions, digital marketing, GIS services, and scholarly services. Recently, we have initiated a new services, and we are calling it as Apex 360 to cater the needs of the budding authors who wants to become a best-selling author. So, to know more about us, kindly follow the link below. We are just a call or email away. Coming back to the webinar, I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Jeremy Murphy. He's from Ireland. So he's the owner of JM Editing and Literary Agency, who is also a graduate of Trinity College Dublin and also University College Dublin. He previously had speaking engagements in Dublin Business School as well. In 2018, he has initiated this company, JM Editing and Literary Agency, which is a manuscript appraisal and representation service for the writers of all kind. So he's the best guy to explain you how to market your book via social media. So over to you, Mr. Jeremy Murphy. Looking forward to your enlightening presentation. Looking forward to that.
Thank you, Raj. And I suppose the first thing as well, can everyone hear me now? I'm not, the last thing I want to do is ramble on and no one can hear me. So everything's cool? Wonderful. Well, firstly, thank you to Apex, Raj and all the team at Apex Solutions for the opportunity and the invitation. I'm really impressed with the kind of services Apex Solutions are offering and their passion for helping writers. As I was saying to Raj earlier, it's a terrible shame I'm not in Bangalore giving this presentation because of this COVID business. Hopefully I can change that in the future. Ireland and India are very different countries. I'm based in Ireland, and India and Ireland are very different countries, opposite sides of the world. I'd forgive you for not even knowing where Ireland is. It's to the west of Great Britain. So Great Britain is here. Ireland is here. Ireland is the last European landmass before the Atlantic Ocean. The subject of the webinar is how to promote your book on social media. It's a very, very important topic. If you've just written a book and you're eager to promote it, to market it, social media channels like Facebook, like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and so forth are very effective ways of getting your message across and communicating to your readers. So the first question on this topic everybody asks is as follows. So I have a social media page for my book. How do I get followers? Of course, that's the first question everybody asks. Obviously, if you're on a platform, the more followers, the better. You want people to interact with your posts. You want people to take an interest in you and your book, and ultimately, hopefully, buy your book. And of course, that's why everyone is there. But the first tip I'm going to give is a little bit counterintuitive. It's not what's expected, but bear with me. Don't do too much promotion. Okay, don't do too much promotion. That surprises a lot of people. That stumps a lot of people. They say to themselves, well, surely if I'm promoting my book through social media, surely what I have to do is promotion, right? No, no, not the case. Uh, when I say promotion, I mean aggressively selling and pitching your book, telling people how many thousand copies you printed, how many thousand copies you sold, telling them they get this amount of discount here, this amount of discount there, telling them they can buy their book in Amazon here or buy the book here. Aggressively pitching and selling the book isn't good digital marketing strategy. So don't do that. Okay, don't be overly salesy, overly promotional. That's bad strategy. That doesn't work. So, and just to emphasize that, now India is of course the home of so much wisdom and insight, and I thought we might as well sum that pint up with a bit of wisdom. Here's a lovely quote. Content marketing is like a first date. If you only talk about yourself, there won't be a second one. I think that really phrases the point in a witty and humorous way. Uh, don't go on a social media platform and just constantly promote and broadcast how wonderful your book is, how great it is, how great you are as an author. That won't engage your follower base. That will put people off. So treat it like a first date. Don't just arrive and talk endlessly about how wonderful your book is, how great your book is. That will just put people off. It won't engage them. It's not good social media content strategies. That's the first tip. Not promotion. Don't overdo promotion. Don't be aggressively promotional. It's the first tip. So you're probably left wondering, well, if I'm not meant to promote, if that's not what I'm supposed to do, what am I actually supposed to do? I'm on Facebook or I'm on Twitter or I'm on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever your channel of preference. I want to get my message out there. I want to tell the world about my book, about me as an author. What am I supposed to be doing? If I'm not promoting, what precisely am I supposed to do? Okay. Well, the answer to that question is content creation. Okay, I can't use those two words enough. That's really what it's all about. Content creation. Okay, so getting back to basics. You're on a social media platform. You want to get the message out there about your book. You want to engage people. You want to get followers. You want to get readers. You want to create interest. You want to generate momentum. You need to engage in content creation. Okay, and what's content creation? Content creation is effectively content. It could be blogs, could be photos, videos, webinars like this, quotes, posts that your followers, people following you in social media, find interesting, find engaging, find inspiring, find informative. So create content that's relevant and interesting to your followers. Okay, not promotion, not selling and pitching and everything else. Content creation. Okay. Okay. So just to break that down, if it's not clear entirely what I mean, is a good tip for to encapsulate this. What is content creation? It's three words. Okay. An awful lot of good content on social media channels can be captured in the following three words. Okay. Inspire. Inspire. Inform. Inform. And entertain. All right. So now an awful lot of good, effective content in social media channels and platforms fall into those three categories. Inspire, so inspire your audience. Um, inspirational quotes, interesting photos, a story from your life that's inspiring, from a great achievement or some adversity you overcame, something that's inspiring, that's motivating, that's interesting. Inform, give information. Okay, just like what we're doing here with Apex Solutions, uh, giving you valuable and useful information that will be hopefully useful to you in what and achieving your goals. So inform, give useful and valuable information, great content, okay, and entertain, engage, be humorous, be interesting, be yourself, be creative. So effectively, just to make a long story short, what the essence of what I'm saying is to really look at your marketing and promotion in a completely different way. Okay, so rather than seeing, this is how I often sum it up to be, or rather than seeing your social media platforms, whatever your platform of presence, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, or whatever, rather than seeing them as a shop and your followers as customers, and you're just promoting to them and selling to them, see it as a stage. Okay, see it as a stage, and your followers as an audience. Your job is to entertain, inspire, and inform, create interesting, relevant, and engaging content. So the best way actually to describe that, really to flesh it out, I think, is to give an example. Because we can talk about theory and concepts and abstractions and everything, and it all sounds interesting. But often it's a lot easier for people to explain it, to give people an example. Ultimately, most, I suspect, of you tuning in will be writing a book or will have a book written, and effectively you're here for tips and guidance about how to promote your book through social media. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I have a book on the screen, Early India from the Origins to AD 1300 by Ramila Thapar. Now, that's, let's say for argument's sake, you sitting at home, your book is a historical book. It's on a historical topic. It might be on ancient or medieval India, or it could be on a completely different historical topic. Now, let's apply the principles we just discussed to you. Okay, you want to promote your book through social media. Okay, let's follow the steps. Don't just go on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and start selling. Then, oh, my history book is out. Here's a 20% reduction. Here's a 30% reduction. Here you can buy it on Amazon. Here you can buy it on here, and here you can buy it on wherever. Don't be aggressively promotion. Okay, we covered that. Don't do that. So what should you do? Create content. Okay, create content. Create relevant and interesting content. Follow the steps. Inspire, inform, entertain. So, what kind of content do I create? Let's flesh it out for me. True. Say you have a history book. Let's use that example. So your book is a history book. You want to create content. What kind of content works for me? Okay. If you have a history book, interesting examples of content would be blogs and social posts on a relevant historical topic. Okay, that's really good content. It could be photos and archive footage, again from a historical topic that's relevant for you. Okay, that's really, really good content. It could be a webinar like this, or a live streamed seminar where you talk about a historical topic that's relevant to your book and you give your opinions and views on it. That's really, really good content. I hope that kind of illustrates what I mean. It's content creation, not promotion. Okay, content creation, not promotion. So to give you another example, just to bring home the point, Here is a book, the cover of a book on photography. Again, you may not be a historical writer, you could be doing something completely different. Here's a book on photography by Don. It's called India, People and Places. Very beautiful image on the front cover. A book of photography by Don McAllister. Now, this is a different book to the historical book, which was the example last time, but the same principles apply. Say you've written or you've compiled your photograph, your collection of photography. You want to promote your book through social media channels like Facebook, like Twitter, like TikTok, and so forth. The same principles we discussed apply. You don't go on promoting, saying, how wonderful I am, how brilliant my book is. Remember the quote about the first stage. That's going to backfire. Create interesting and relevant content. Okay. So you have a photography book. You want to engage your followers. What kind of content is relevant and interesting? It could be a blog post or a series of social media posts on your travels to an interesting location, a location where you took photographs. That's one really interesting piece of content. It could be sample photographs, okay? Sharing some photographs on Instagram, for instance, triggering an interest from people in your photography book. Really good content. It could be a webinar or a seminar, live streamed, on you giving people tips and advice on photography techniques. Okay, another really, really interesting piece of content. So I'm sure you probably get the idea at this stage. The point is produce content that's relevant and interesting to your followers. Okay, be engaging, be informative, be inspiring, be interesting. Don't just promote, don't just vlog, don't just pitch. The point is content creation, not promotion. So another tip. Okay, here's the next tip. Social media is all about being social. All right, be social. If you have followers, don't just sit there and wait for them to interact with you. Okay, you got to be active. So if you just go on and you could produce really, really interesting content, you could go on Facebook, you could go on Twitter, you could produce really, really interesting content, photos, blogs, posts, videos, everything else, but you don't interact with anyone. Okay, that's a bad idea. Okay, you've got to be social. You've got to reciprocate. If somebody comments, you say you put up an interesting post or an interesting photo or interesting video, somebody comments, comment back, engage. Don't be rude, engage. If one of your followers shares interesting material that you like, it could be a witty quote or a photograph or an inspiring story, like, interact, share. If it's interesting to your followers, share. Be social. It's about reciprocation. If you interact with others, the chances are they will be more likely to interact with you. If you like and share and comment on your followers' posts, they are more likely to like, comment, and share your post. Okay? It's a form of reciprocation. Now, it's too complicated to go into it, but social media platforms use algorithms to rank posts. So if you go on Facebook and Twitter or Instagram and you look at your news feeds, that isn't random. There's a rhyme and reason behind that. There's a reason why you see some posts and you don't see others. The reason you see some posts is the platform has made the calculation that this post will be interesting, will be of interest to you. Okay? Now, what you need to do as an author, you need to tell the channels that my content is interesting. Okay, now there's many ways of doing that. It is a complicated science, but here's one tip. Get interaction. The more people who like your posts, the more people who share your posts, the more people who comment on your posts, that's a signal to the platform, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that's a signal to the platform that this is interesting. They need to share that to more people. Okay. And to make a long story short, one way of doing that is interact and engage. Okay. Be social. Okay. So if you see posts you're interested in, don't be greedy. Like, share, comment, interact. The chances are they will reciprocate. Okay. It's called social media for a reason. It's about social interaction, about reciprocation, about engagement. That's the second big tip. First big tip was don't just do promotion, content creation. And the second big tip is be social. Okay. Interact, engage, reciprocate. So, so the next question, which is a big question, is I'm on social media. I have my book. I've heard your tips. Content creation, not promotion. Fair enough. I get it. Interact, reciprocate, engage, be social. I get it. But here's the thing: which platform is good for me? There are many of them. Okay, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, and so forth. Which one is best for me? Okay. Now you could take the view that you want to be in all of them, and you might be the kind of person who says, "Look, I have my book. I don't want to miss everyone. There's a certain type of people on Twitter. There's a certain type of person on Facebook. I want to be on all platforms. I don't want to miss out. It's like I want to go to every concert, or I want to go to every play, or I want to read every book. I don't want to miss out." That's fair enough. And there may be some merit to that, but there's a note of caution. Managing, being on, setting up an account on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or your platform of preference is easy. Okay, that doesn't take an awful lot of work. But managing a page on any of these platforms, managing it properly, okay, producing relevant content, engaging with your follower base, uh, you know, treating it properly and managing it properly, that takes time. That takes time, that takes energy, that takes effort. If you want to buy and to invest in advertising and promotion and buy some of the premium options of these, it takes money. Okay? So you have to make that calculation. How much time have you got to put into this? Do you really have the time and energy to manage and optimize all these platforms properly? That's a calculation you have to make. Generally speaking, it's better to do one or two platforms well. Okay, so just be on one or two platforms, but have really good pages, produce really good content, interact with your followers, be social, be creative on two platforms, then be on 10 platforms and doing a bad job. Okay, so doing a good job on two platforms is better than doing a bad job on 10 platforms. Okay, so generally that works as a principle. So think about that before you pour all your energy and time and resources into trying to create a presence across all the platforms. That generally doesn't work. The principle usually holds that it's better to concentrate on a smaller number of platforms that do really well, optimize, manage, create good content, rather than spreading yourself thin across all the platforms. Okay? So actually, before I go on, there is another option. There is the option of using an app like Hootsuite. Okay, where Hootsuite allows you to schedule content across multiple platforms. So again, it's complicated. We won't go into it in detail, but just in case you're not familiar, that would involve going on the app, uploading a post, and the app automatically puts it across all the platforms. That's an option, something you can explore, something you can consider. It might work. It might work in some circumstances. There is a drawback to that, however, and the drawback is, I remember a minute ago I mentioned algorithms. Okay, Algorithms in the platforms, they genuinely reward original content. So original, unique, creative content created on the site is generally shown to more followers than content shared by a third party. All right, generally speaking. So, but it's something to consider. I think ultimately, however, unless think carefully, generally speaking, it's a good idea to concentrate on one or two platforms rather than spreading yourself thin. But it's a decision for you to make. If you are of the view, and I think most of you should be, if you are of the view that I can only really go on one or two platforms, or at least I can only concentrate my main energy and resources on one or two platforms, well, obviously the next question is, which ones do I choose? I can't go on all of them. Which one do I choose? Which ones do I choose? It's a good question. It's $1 million question, really. And it really depends on you. It depends on you as a writer, as an author, and the kind of books you're writing. Okay? Some platforms suit some writers more. Some platforms suit some types of books more. Very generally, the question you have to ask is go, or I just take this as a mantra, take this as your mantra, go to the platform where your readers are more likely to be. Okay? If you use the examples we used before, if you're writing history books, okay, if you're writing history books, go to the platform where readers interested in that subject are, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, or Facebook, or whatever. Okay, go to the platform where those ditto with photography. Now that's making things too simple. There's a whole range of factors you have to consider. The age profile of the people on the platform, the kind of content generally, the trends on it, what content can you produce, what content trends on these platforms, these kind of questions. The whole range of questions. It's not an easy question to answer, but it's something I do think you should put a lot of time and consideration into because it's important. So finally, we can go through the platforms after that introduction. And of course, the first platform on your screen is Twitter. Twitter is a good platform. It's what they call a micro blogging platform. So it takes the form of tweets. I think they're like 130 characters or something like that. And it's a good platform for writers. It's got a good, vibrant writers community. It's very, very good for reciprocation. So if you follow writers on Twitter and they know you're a writer, they typically follow back. That can be good for a beginner. If you're just starting out in this, if you don't have an author page, you haven't done any promotion on these channels, it's good. It can be intimidating not getting any followers. So it's good to, it may be a good platform to start off with. So it's certainly one to consider. The next platform is Facebook. Facebook is a great platform for beginners. It's a good platform for beginners. It's very general. It has a wide breadth of different types of people. It doesn't have a narrow demographic base like some platforms. There's a lot of people and a lot of very different people on Facebook and using Facebook. You have a lot of the middle-aged to older demographic on Facebook. That might be something to consider if your book is aiming for that group. So Facebook is, and it's very user-friendly. It's very easy to use. It's easy to follow. So it's certainly a good platform to consider if you're starting off. Another lovely feature of Facebook is data or analytics, as it's often called. You'll have the option on Facebook to either promote your book to a personal page or set up a professional authors page, like the Facebook business feature, okay? That's another decision you have to make yourself. If you set up a professional business page, like an authors page or a book page, here's a big advantage. You get really, really interesting data and analytics, okay? So you can find out things like how many people, Not only how many people interact with your post, but if you stream a video, how many people view the video, and even more minute details than that. Like you can find out what age group they are, what gender they are, what geographical location they're from. And this data is useful. It can tell you a lot about your content, you know, what groups it resonates with. It can tell you a lot about your book. You know, if your content is resonating with this kind of group, there's a good chance your book will resonate with this kind of group. And it can inform your strategy. All right. You can inform if, for instance, you discover on Facebook that you're getting a lot of interactions from an older group, then you can go on another platform and perhaps target a younger group. So you can inform your strategy, or you can discover if your content and your posts are really trending with a particular type of group on from a certain geographical area, you can say to yourself, I need to concentrate more. This is where my readers and my followers are. This particular area. I need to concentrate on people here. So the data is very useful. It can inform your marketing strategy. So certainly Facebook. Facebook is one to consider. Instagram. Instagram is another one. It's a really good platform. Very young, very hip, very popular with millennials, with people in their 20s, with younger as well, Generation Z. Really popular platform. So if you're interested in targeting those groups, um, it's a good idea. It's a really good platform to consider. It's a very visually stimulating platform. Very sensory, very visual. So if you're the kind of person who wants to really impress a visual image, you know, of your book, of your brand, of your profile, then the possibilities are endless on Instagram. It's a very good platform to go to. If you're anyway good at graphic design or art, it's a very creative platform. Another interesting little fact about Instagram. Instagram users have a bit of a reputation. Okay, they have a reputation for shallowness. Like everyone thinks Instagram is full of people promoting themselves, telling us how beautiful their lives are. And yeah, it's a fair point to a degree. But here's an interesting little fact. Instagram users are a little bit more generous when it comes to likes and interactions than users on other platforms. Okay, so that's an interesting one to consider. So if you put a post on Instagram, users are more likely to like, comment, or share your post than users on Facebook or Twitter. Twitter massively so. So it might be something to consider again if you're starting off and you haven't done a lot of promotion of your book. Instagram might be a good one in that respect. TikTok, okay, big rising social media platform owned by a Chinese company. The other ones are American owned. This is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. It's a very interesting platform, gaining a lot of momentum. There's a lot of interest behind it. It's increasingly becoming relevant for books as well. There's a whole phenomenon at present called book talk videos. Okay, that's to make a long story short, that's teenagers going on TikTok, filming videos of them reviewing their favorite books. It sounds simple, but these videos are trending in the millions. They're having an impact on sales. There's books, particularly in the United States, that have jumped up the bestseller list based on a book talk video. There is even bookstores, again in the United States, that have designated book talk tables where they display the books that were popular on book talk videos. So they're feeding into those trends. I think Penguin Random recently admitted to hiring 100 book talk influencers purely for their children's and young adults division. This was to simply tap into this growing phenomenon. I think it is a platform to definitely consider. I think it's new, it's territory in some ways, and that can be attractive. It's untapped, while the other platforms have very much been utilized. This is kind of untapped, so that makes it interesting. I also think the big thing about TikTok is demographics and profile. You have a very, very strong younger audience. So if you sitting at home are an author of young adult or children's fiction, young adult fiction, and for, say for argument's sake, you wrote a young adult fantasy novel or sci-fi novel, and you want to target teenagers between the ages of 12 and 16, this is a really good place for you. They are on this platform, they're using it. It really has an awful lot of momentum with that age group, so that's something to consider. So again, in conclusion, there are several other platforms. Of course, this is just a flavor. This is just a taste. I hope it does give you a taste. I hope I give you a flavor of the possibilities. But to make a long story short, be strategic. Put a bit of consideration into it. There is one platform that's probably right for you. Okay, you just have to put a bit of time into finding out what it is. Okay, think about things like demographics, content, age, geography, the kind of time and energy you can invest into it. Very generally, again, keep that general tip in mind. Which platform do I pick? That's the question. Which platform do I pick? Go to where your readers are likely to be. That's very general, but keep that guiding principle in mind. So really, just to finish off with a little mantra, with a little word of wisdom. Be passionate and genuine. Okay, that's very general, but I think it holds true. Be yourself. Be creative. Be passionate. Social media channels are part of what they call digital marketing. Digital marketing is very different from traditional offline marketing. In digital marketing, it's all about engagement. Rather than promoting to people, pitching, selling, be creative, engage, interact, create interesting, relevant content. And I think increasingly, as this evolves, as the platforms evolve, as the technology evolves, being passionate, creative, and authentic is becoming even more important. People don't like fakes. They spot fakes. They're increasingly less tolerant of it. Be yourself. Imitating is easy. It can be tempting, especially when you're starting off, to look at what other people are doing, to look at a work, and that's true to a point. You can certainly learn from others. Look at the authors that are doing things, that are writing books like yours, and see what they're doing on social media. Are they being effective? What kind of content they're creating? Hashtags they're using, profile pages, how presentations, so forth. You can learn from others, but I think ultimately be yourself. Be creative, be passionate, be authentic. Like I say, people spot fakes. They are becoming increasingly intolerant to that. Be yourself, be genuine, be original, and that's it. That's it for me. As Raj mentioned, this is pre-recorded. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, any feedback on any of the topics I discussed here today, please leave them in the comments box. I'd love to get back to you. I'd love to start the discussion. I'd love to engage. No matter how simple or how complicated the question is, throw it into the comments box, forward your thoughts, forward your opinions and feedback. This will be shared across the various channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so forth. So share, comment, give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get your questions. I'd love to get your thoughts on this topic. And thank you for listening. And thanks again for Apex, to Raj and all the team at Apex Solutions for the opportunity. And hope to see you soon.
Thank you,
No
Jeremy.
problem.
So I have one question. I mean, I have a doubt. So you said, TikTok is one of the platform that we can use, right? So as we see in India, TikTok is due to some political reasons they have banned it, but there are few similar and competitive portals which are similar to that of TikTok. So can we make use of them?
I suspect so, and like I was saying, is that the platforms I discussed here are really just a flavor of the possibilities. There are so
Yes,
many different platforms, and there's new ones coming, and an emerging platform can be almost better in some respects because you can make your mark. Like if you go on Twitter, there's so many authors on Twitter.
okay.
The competition is stiff and fierce.
Yes, yes, yes,
Also, I think it's a good point as well you made because geography is a big factor.
yes,
And obviously, if political reasons TikTok isn't permitted in India,
hmm
um, and you're targeting people in India, there's no point being on.
but there are many other similar portals which is a competitor or maybe which are emerged with the same plan as that of TikTok, so which are coming up quite well. So to on behalf of viewers from India, so it is my responsibility to ask and clarify this doubt. So can we make use of those platforms as well? I think yes.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'd love to hear in the comments as well about these platforms. I'd love to learn more about the kind of platforms that are popular in India.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
TikTok could well have been banned in the United States as well. I think Donald Trump
yes,
was
yes,
fighting with them. He was worried about data sharing and so forth because the
exactly.
data would be shared with other governments. So things are changing.
Yes,
Um, and yeah, for any of the Indian viewers, if they're interested in sharing your experience with platforms in India, that are really interesting new platforms, please share them. I'm fascinated to hear and to learn more about them. I
yes,
think that the point of it is really the principles apply to all of them. Content
yes,
creation over promotion, be social, and
yes.
so forth. But yeah, any viewers in India who want to share their experiences with different platforms, please share them.
Yes. Most importantly, these days, uh, Facebook, Instagram, and also Twitter to some extent. No, not Twitter, but Facebook and Instagram. They have started TikTok kind of portals. I mean, kind of activities in their apps as well. So maybe a short. I mean, short videos. What I mean to say. So even they have
Yes,
started a.
yes, they have. They have, and there's. I would suspect there's more video content on
Yes.
them, and TikTok have started that craze, and
Yes.
um, that's very true. I suspect.
Yes. Yes. So, well, thank you very much for the inspiring, involving, entertaining, as you say, in your presentation, and most importantly, the relevant talk on how to promote your book on social media. So, to the viewers, as Mr. Murphy says, kindly get in touch with us. And if you have any questions, kindly drop your comments below. So, Apex Solutions Limited and Mr. Murphy. So, we all will be available for you and in helping you in clarifying your doubts in promoting your book. As you already know, with the meaningful collaborations, Apex is making things easy not only to the businesses but also to the individuals who are aspiring to be an author. So once again, thanks to all the viewers, and this webinar will be available throughout the year. And if you like, please do share it with your colleagues, friends, and also family members for whom this might be useful. So we are looking forward to making more meaningful webinars just like this, and we'll share the details of those soon on our platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and also YouTube, and of course on our website too. So thank you very much once again, and have a great year ahead. Mr. Murphy, we are looking forward to collaborating and working with you soon. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Likewise, Raj, and thank you for the opportunity. And like I say, hopefully in the future I can give this presentation in India.
Great,
Um,
great. We're
absolutely.
looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Take care
Thank
now.
you. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye
Bye.
bye.